What's up, everyone? Welcome to the July 1st edition of FanDuel Tournament Plays presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code AWESOMO when you sign up and make a deposit at PrizePicks. You'll receive 1 free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on your first deposit. We have a 10-game MLB slate tonight. There are some weather concerns for the first time in a while, so be sure to keep an eye out on those. But as of right now, we do have 10 games. We're going to take a look at 3 of the top tournament stacks and 3 of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top 3 stacks, number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers are taking on Contreras tonight in Pittsburgh. Contreras is one of the better pitching prospects in baseball, but he is still young and inconsistent. He has struck out 23% of hitters this year, but also has a 4.27 xFIP and has allowed 1.06 home runs per 9 innings. Milwaukee's active roster has a 105 WRC plus and a healthy 177 ISO. They're projected for 3% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack. Number 2, the Seattle Mariners are taking on James Kaprielian. They're projected for about 6% ownership with a 5% chance of being the top scoring stack, but also an 8% chance of being the top value stack. We know that they will be without JP Crawford tonight as he continues to serve his suspension, but as far as I know, they are still expecting to have Jesse Winker and Julio Rodriguez, at least as of right now. So if that's the case, you do still have some power in the lineup, and Kaprielian's been really bad this year. 5.32 xFIP, only striking out 15.8% of hitters, allowing 1.9 home runs per 9 innings. The Mariners' active roster has a 103 WRC plus and a 145 ISO. And number 1, the New York Mets are taking on Glen Otto tonight in New York. Otto has allowed 1.06 home runs per 9, but also has a 5.12 xFIP. He's only struck out 18.2% of hitters. The Mets' active roster has a 114 WRC plus and a 143 ISO. They have a 5.3 implied run total, only projected for about 6% ownership with an 8% chance of being the top scoring stack. Now, looking at the top 3 tournament pitchers, number 3, Joe Ryan is $9,000 taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore has a 3.6 implied run total. I do think this matchup is a little bit scarier for Ryan than that implied run total suggests. He has really struggled with left-handed hitters this year, only striking out about 15% compared to 27% of righties. If the Orioles lineup is what it normally is, there's going to be 5 lefties in it. 3 of them are going to be good in Cedric Mullins, Adley Rutschman, and Anthony Santander. But if he can navigate those lefties and doesn't, get beat by the righties like Hayes and Mountcastle, which is less likely, or more, it's more likely that he won't get beat by them since he has been very, very good against righties. There is still strikeout upside for him here. He's only projected for 2% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. Number 2, Tony Gonsolin, $9,400 price tag, taking on the San Diego Padres. He is only projected for 2% ownership, but has a 7% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. He has been stretched out a bit more recently. The Dodgers are allowing him to go a bit deeper into games, and he has a 24.5% strikeout percentage with a 3.8 xFIP so far this season. The Padres have just a 3.2 implied run total. And number 1, Garrett Cole taking on the Cleveland Guardians. There are weather concerns in this game, so be sure to keep an eye out there. But Cole has the second highest strikeout percentage on the slate behind Corbin Burnes. He's projected for 14% ownership with a 10% chance of being the top scoring pitcher. But if you compare that to Burnes, who is the other similarly talented pitcher on this slate, it's about half the ownership that Burnes is getting. So if you are paying up for one of the 2 top arms, Cole's ownership relative to Burnes is not as high as it should be. Even though the Guardians have only struck out 17.2% of the time this season, you're still talking about somebody in Cole with a 31.8% strikeout percentage that is capable of striking out anyone. So still looks like he's going a bit under-owned compared to Corbin Burnes. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, Milwaukee Brewers; number 2, the Seattle Mariners; number 1, the New York Mets. And the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Joe Ryan; number 2, Tony Gonsolin; and number 1, Garrett Cole.